Greetings, my friends, it is I, Onion Claus, bringer of gifts. Today is a wondrous day, for I have brought unto you the gift of a Kirby Nanoblocks video. Yes, that's right, another one. And not just a volume 2 of the figures. There's also other things, 2 other things. There's 3 products we're going to talk about here. Good old Onion Claus is gonna talk about them. Won't that be a good time? So, this second series of Kirby Nanoblocks came out late this year, and I picked them up, and we're going to talk about them. This time there's more than just the nano figures. We have another series of 6 of those, but there's also 2 other sets that are going to be under discussion. That'll be fun to go into, so this will be an expanded discussion from the one I had earlier in the year. So I was really pleased to see that Nanoblock was continuing the Kirby line, because I felt that while the first series was really great and I enjoyed seeing that, it was a great step in Kirby history to have a Nanoblock line. I think that's a good thing to have. However, there were only 6 figures, and I felt that there was potential for a great deal more, and fortunately we've seen some of that potential reached with this next wave. We'll go over the random figures first. They, yet again, were delivered to me in a box with all 6 contained within. Each 6 is in a plastic bag that's inside the box, but it comes with all 6 and has a little sticker that verifies that it does indeed have all 6 figures, which is far more convenient than buying them in random bags. But yeah, these boxes are the main way you buy them, at least in the US, from online sellers. And so we'll get the more standard, I wouldn't say boring, but expected figures out of the way, which is the 3 Kirbys. We have Full Belly Kirby, which is Kirby with an inhaled enemy or a star block, perhaps. This is a cute little fella. He's rather rotund. It's a unique look. We've already had 3 Kirbys before, but I think this one is unique enough to warrant its own existence. I like having all these different varieties of Kirby poses and situations. That's fun. And I think the other 2 are even more fun because we have additional details alongside just Kirby himself, with Friend Heart Kirby, where he's holding a friend heart. It's the iconic pose from that Kirby Star Allies key art, where he's holding the heart above his head. Yeah, it's actually a rather dark purple color they use, or a dark pink, I guess, for the heart. And I like the way they position him to hold his hands above his head. That looks good. And then we have Star Rod Kirby, and this is a great one. This is probably my favorite of the pack. The execution of it is a little strange because it's kind of off-center because of the way they built it, and the Star Rod itself is particularly flimsy just because it's such a small construction, and it's rather prone to breaking, which is not ideal. The way they have it positioned on the box, it's kind of hard to tell that it's off-center. So if you pose it correctly, you can kind of get the effect that it's not off-center, but it is. I don't know what the solution would be because these blocks are so small, but perhaps there would have been a build that would have made that better. I will say these builds are quite stable. They don't tend to fall over their own volition in general. And the building experience, like I've said before, is more advanced than Lego, and the instructions give you a lot more to do per each instruction. With Lego sets, you usually get just a few blocks to place with each step, even on the 18+ sets. But with Nanoblocks, you just get like a whole line, like a whole layer that you have to do with each step. So you have to pay attention to the instructions or you might miss something. But yeah, that's all the 3 Kirbys. Not as necessary, just because we already have 3 Kirbys. If they get around to a volume 3, I think what we want to start to see is Kirby with different ability hats. We want to see Sword Kirby, Beam Kirby. That's the direction I would take if I was planning a volume 3 of these micro figures. I think that's the logical next direction to go. And now we have the real juicy stuff, which is the new characters that have not previously been in Nanoblock form. We'll start off with one we've had before, but this guy's in a different situation, and that's Parasol Waddle Dee, which is the most iconic Waddle Dee weapon, is a parasol. I really like the way it's executed, and it's pretty similar to the other Waddle Dee build, but it's very distinct from it, so I think it has its own purpose and value. Next up we have King Dedede. I was reviewing my previous Kirby Nanoblock video. I said, oh, there's no way that you could fit King Dedede into this form factor. I don't know why I said that, because clearly here we are, here he is. The king himself
I will say he's smaller than I thought he'd be. Based off the pictures, he does look a bit taller than the other characters, and he is, but he's also less wide. With that said, they've managed to fit all of the necessary details in. He's got his red coat with the white trim, and he's got the checkerboard on his, but yeah, he's a little short and stubby, but it's kind of effective. Definitely not to scale. He's really not that much taller than Kirby himself. So the scale's not quite right, but I guess within this series you have that limitation of they all have to be around the same size. So great, he's here. He's finally in block form, what we've all been waiting for. Then we have Chef Kawasaki, probably the most obscure choice. He's obviously an iconic part of the series, but his iconography is not as well known as King Dedede or Meta Knight. But yeah, what a great character. And this guy has some interesting printing. His mouth print is 2 bricks, and they come pre-attached to, they're 2 1x2 bricks. I really like that. It's interesting how they come pre-attached, but that's convenient, I guess. I've never seen anything like that in a building block thing. But yeah, he's just a great figure. I really like having him, and the color match is quite good. The color they chose is sort of salmon orange color. Looks great. And his frying pan, which came out very well. That's just a simple shape that works well in a Nanoblock format. And the chef hat looks good too. As I said in the previous video, if you don't want to see the copyright on the characters, you can just flip it around if you so please. That's volume 2 of the figures, but there's still more to go. What really got me interested in this wave was the Kirby Dreamland set, which essentially consists of a green plate. Atop it is a tree, and then Wispy Woods himself, which I guess is the most substantial build that they've done. Its function is to serve as a display area for your Kirby figures. And it also comes with a exclusive Kirby variant where he's riding a warp star, which is really nice. It's he's sitting down, and you could also, if you want, take him off the warp star and just have him sitting around somewhere else if you want to do that. But yeah, I really liked the Wispy Wood build. I think the size, like, it's undersized in terms of its proportion to Kirby based on the games, but in a vacuum, just as a display piece, I think it works very well. There's no back to him, it's just a facade of the front, which I think is fine. But yeah, I liked getting this bigger set. I want more substantial Kirby builds because it gives you somewhere to put your figurines, which is great, because otherwise they're just sitting on a shelf somewhere, which is fine, but it makes it feel more like a Lego set to have like a base plate with stuff on top of it. So yeah, that was the highlight of the wave for me. But then we had one more, and I actually liked this one a lot more than I expected to. I think it's really cool, but it is a bit strange, perhaps redundant, but not fully. And that's this Kirby 30th anniversary figure. And it's at a larger scale than the other Kirby figures. And it essentially depicts Kirby riding a warp star. It's sort of the logo of the Kirby 30th anniversary is Kirby on the warp star, so I think it's meant to represent that. And there are a couple pretty unique things about it. For one, you have the bigger Kirby, who is actually less big than I kind of expected. I expected there to be a bigger difference between them in terms of size. It's not hugely more detailed. Like, the eyes are the same scale as the small figures. They're just more proportionally accurate on this figure. It is cool to have like a more substantial figure, and it is kind of a more specific representation of the 30th anniversary, which is nice. Decent building experience. And then he's riding a warp star, which is a much larger warp star than the other one in the Kirby Dreamland set with Wispy Woods. Smoother edges, which looks nice. It has copyright N/H on it. And then also this set came with a sticker, which was interesting, where you're supposed to put the stickers on the back of Kirby, which if this was a Lego set, this would definitely be not allowed, because I think one of the rules, one of the laws of Lego is that you're not allowed to have stickers on more than one piece. The way it is, it's not really designed to be taken apart. Yeah, we have the sticker on the back, which you don't have to put. It's kind of overkill in terms of branding, but it does make it clear that it's supposed to represent the 30th anniversary, so sure, why not? His mouth came pre-built like Kawasaki, which was interesting. Anyway, the other thing is that this guy has a stand, and it's actually not the most stable, but it is cool because it's shaped like a star. They don't show it on the packaging, they just show him floating in space and the packaging and all the pictures, and it positions Kirby in a slightly upward trajectory, which is cool. I really like this set. It was the one I was the least excited for because I loved getting King Dedede and Chef Kawasaki and Wispy Woods, but this other Kirby thing is nice. It's nice. It's a quality product. So those are my thoughts on Volume 2 of the Kirby Nanoblocks.
Wow, I love Kirby Nanoblocks, don't you? They're almost as good as a Lego Kirby set, but not quite. Anyway, I'm pleased with this product line. I hope to see it continue on in the future and perhaps become even more elaborate. If in fact we do see more Nanoblocks, videos will be abound. Let me tell you that. Go on, loyal reindeers, take me away.